It's a beautiful sunny day and it's good to be with you. My name is Robert Lovett. I'm the Vicar of All Saints, and it's great just to share a few things with you. And what I want to talk about today is a section where Jesus talks about the future and the second coming. The title I've given to my little talk is Pestilences, the Future, and God's Good Purpose. Jesus is in the last week of his time on earth. That's before the cross, of course, and resurrection. And he's speaking at length on the Mount of Olives to his disciples about what will happen prior to the second coming and the fall of Jerusalem. I'm going to read to you a small section from Luke chapter 21. There are similar passages in Mark 13 and Matthew chapter 24. Luke 21 verse 8. Watch out that you are not deceived, for many will come in my name claiming, I am he. The time is near. Do not follow them. When you hear of wars and uprisings, do not be frightened. These things must happen first, but the end will not come right away. Then he said to them, nation will rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in various places, and fearful events and great signs from heaven. I'm always amazed at how astonishingly accurate the Bible is as it looks forward to the future. Remember, these were words written 2,000 years ago. It speaks so accurately about the nature of man and humanity and what we're like. God knows history from its beginning to its end. And here Jesus is telling us about some things that will happen on the lead up to the second coming. There will be deceptions, false Christs, earthquakes, pestilences. I wonder if one of those pestilences that he speaks of relates to COVID-19. He speaks of wars and persecutions. And in the midst of it all, he tells us as Christians not to worry. 21 verse 8. I wonder if you think that's possible at the moment. He said, should we be persecuted? Don't worry about what you'll say in advance, because words will be given to us. 21 verse 14. He says to us, watch so that we're not deceived. He says he wants to forewarn us so that when these things happen, we're prepared for them, and therefore to stand firm. In verse 36, he tells us to pray that we might be able to escape all that is about to happen. In the context of the wider Bible, Paul speaks of an antichrist figure in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. He speaks of terrible times in 2 Timothy chapter 3. The book of Revelation, and this is very hard to interpret, in chapters 13 and 14, seems to speak of centralization into a one-world government, a one-world economy, and even a one-world religion. The Bible seems to speak of an intensification of evil, in fact, a polarization of evil and good. It speaks of a refining of the church to be that beautiful bride for Christ. It speaks of the coming to faith of Israel and the gospel being preached to all nations. And then finally, and don't we look forward to this, the glorious appearing of Jesus himself. He came in humility the first time. When he comes the second time, he'll come in great majesty, great glory. If Jesus had promised paradise on earth, well, we'd all be dismayed, wouldn't we? We've had 2 world wars, this COVID-19 virus. These things would have completely knocked our confidence in Christ if he said we were going to have paradise on earth now. But he didn't teach that. He taught us very fairly about what is due to happen. One of the phrases we hear at the moment is, I will level with you. Well, Jesus leveled with us about the future, didn't he? He told us what to expect. We cannot control our lives. Jesus can. We can't even control the day of our death. But Jesus knows. And Jesus is Lord of history. And in the midst of our travails, he is Emmanuel, We're not exempt from life's difficulties, but he's there with us, helping us, sustaining us, leading us through, holding us by the hand. If you are worried, the safest place that you can be is in the hands of Jesus, within the community of God's people, in Christ. Jesus knows the future. He loves you. He's concerned for you. Only his shed blood can save you. Judgment and hell, well, they're fearful events that will happen, but they can be avoided. Put your faith and trust in Jesus today, and you will be completely safe in times to come, and he will be with you in the present. And may God bless you. Thank you for listening.